Zajewicz, is Misha Naomi, and we are here with Tales of Nuzka in the drag files. So we've moved into drag medicine. So I still wanted to perform. I still wanted to do some things. I was pretty rocked for about 3 months after doing the performance at the Drag Showdown. And it took me a lot of time crying and processing lots of pink things, lots of soft things. When you do a soul retrieval, you have to make that soul part know that they're safe and give them little things that they need, things like that. So all of a sudden my room was full of pink baby toys in my bed and stuff like that. And yeah, it was just very intense and interesting to bring back that soul part and really nurture her back to humanity and that it was worthy. So I signed up to do some backup boy stuff because I thought, what the heck? So it was on YYJ Drag. Threw my name in for this one, Chase and Ryder, and they contacted me through Facebook. They said, I have this song, Lost Boys, and I want to do it about this incident that I know about that happened with this fellow and things like this, and I want it to be about queer, this and that. And I'm like, fuck yeah. And I'm like, I'm Peter Pan, man. Fucking lived on the streets. I was a lost boy. I fucking kept my hair short. My name was Serge, and I know this. I know this. And I was like, Universe, you funny bastard. So signed up to do Campbell River because they lived up north, and then to come down and do Victoria. So we had 12 hours. We performed at 11 a.m. in Campbell River, and then we performed at midnight the next day, or at 11 p.m. the next day in Victoria. So it was this 24-hour 11 to 11 number. So sign up to do this. We meet on Skype to discuss choreo a couple of times. They want to do lifts, they want to do this and that, and I'm like, do you have any dance experience? Like, we can't do lifts, and if we don't have any time to actually meet, we're not doing lifts, but we can do some things. Like, we figured this out. So we figured out this hilarious choreo about lost boys, and it was beautiful. It was amazing. Performed it in Campbell River, and then performed it in Paparazzi, and it was hot. It was hot. It's about like the struggles of the boys, like, you know, finding their queerness on the streets, but then rejecting it, and then coming back to it and being embraced and loved in it. And there's some whipping cream that gets eaten off their chest, and I kind of muff dive for a minute and forget about the world for a half second, because it had been a long time since I put my mouth on anybody's body. So it was hot as fuck. But I came back to, they accidentally kissed me when I came back up, because it was a pretty intense moment. And afterwards they're like, I'm so sorry, my partner, but it's like, but it's okay, right? And I was like, yeah, no, it's fine. Like I said, you can do what you need to do and what comes about. So that was one of the beauty of it, is that it was just so quick, and it just bloomed. It just was. So that one floored me a little bit, but not quite as much as the other ones. But it was good to, like, it did cause me to cry when I was rehearsing it, because I resonated so deeply with that lost boy in me. And that time that I lived on the streets, and I came to know my queerness while living on the streets. And the rejection of so many females who want to be queer, and then they get scared and they run and they head back to what's familiar. And so it was just really heart-wrenching for me on all of those levels. Then I signed up to be a backup boy with someone else, with Sir Ryan Reel. And they were chatting with me. They wanted someone with long hair. They wanted this femme presentation, and it was a little bit of a struggle, because I was like, just because I have long hair doesn't mean like I'm, you know, that I'm femme. Thanks. Like, I do play with femme feathers these days, but like, please do not class me as a hetero cisgendered, or as a cisgendered female. Thank you. Like, I'm a genderqueer, and I play with feathers. Then they found another person who was the opposite, who is a trans woman who is also genderqueer and keeps their head shaved. And then we had a little bit of a struggle back and forth with both of us, with them stating that we were cis and misusing pronouns and things like this. I don't worry about pronouns myself, but I don't like to be considered cis because of my hair, kind of thing. And the other person, it was just a bit of struggle. So we came through that. We made a very, very beautiful piece of drag medicine, and it was a mashup of Something's Wrong with the Village. And all three of us were from a village. All three of us know the rejection of your village when you're not associating or affiliating with the expectations of what your assigned sex at birth was. So then what are your gender expectations of who you are and what you do? So his song was Something's Wrong with the Village. We did some really beautiful choreo behind to express that. It was really interesting. I chose to wear teal and pink underwear, and then I censored a black top for censoring my breasts, and then black cuffs to censor my wrist, because as a female body being, those are considered the things that are sexual, right? And then the trans woman chose to wear a black bottoms and an X over her nipples, because not X her nipples, just black bottoms, because as if you're born a male body being, then that is what is considered sexual and is censored, kind of thing. So there was a part in it where about suicide, mash up into Lucius, and at that point, I die for a moment, and then it has a shock to the heart, and up you come. And I missed the cue where I was supposed to be standing again, so I actually shot up and said "fuck" right as they were saying that they brought him back to life. There was a period of my life where I was suicidal about just being me, exactly as I am, and being allowed to express myself exactly as I choose to any day of the week, with a fucking dinosaur tail on, with a fucking short hair, long hair, fucking wear a dress, not wear a dress, fucking wear fucking neon pink if I fucking want to, wear fucking bunny ears and a suit jacket on a fucking Wednesday because I want to. And so it was really, really heavy piece. We didn't rehearse it much. Again, it was just perfectly aligned by the universe, and I wept and wept and wept. And then after that number, I spiraled into a depression that I hadn't been in since like probably 20 years. And I was fucked for like 2 weeks as I dug through all these layers of trauma around my gender expression, around being genderqueer, and now being perceived as a cisgender lesbian woman, pale presenting, and having an erasure happening in my community because I was choosing to express myself fully and completely as who I am at times. So drag medicine, it's good stuff. It's very powerful, but it takes time. Stages empowerment, express yourself, play, and then take care of yourself. Give trigger warnings before your numbers if they are triggering, and love yourself and be gentle with yourself, and just play with it, because you never know what can come up.